Hello, and welcome back to another Bear Essential review with me, BearElliott. So, we are blasting off to tomorrow. Yes, Tomorrowland! In today's Bear Essential review, we're taking a look at Disney's Tomorrowland, the theatrical debut, that stars the one and only George Clooney. Ah, there's something nice about some eye candy. And I really like him as a Silverhead. But that's a little bit of the side point. A little bit of back information about yours truly. I spent 7 years working for Mickey down in Orlando, so to say that I'm a little bit of a Disney-phile, yeah, I'm more of an incredible Disney-phile. 7 years I spent working for Mickey, and I loved every minute of it. But that means I have a lot of Disney knowledge in there. I worked a lot at the parks, especially Magic Kingdom, where there's Tomorrowland, which our little movie takes place in, kinda. So this is just one of the many different Disney theme park themed movies that we have had released and that are in the works. We've had Pirates of the Caribbean, which produced several movies. We had the Haunted Mansion. There's a lot of different Disney properties that are becoming or have been movie themes. Tomorrowland is just one of those. But there's something very interesting about Tomorrowland, and I was so excited about this because it's like, how in the world are they going to make a movie about Tomorrowland? I was kind of wondering about it. Had me a little bit of concern, but I definitely wanted to go see it. This movie has an overarching theme that is so Disney, it is like beating you over the head with like a croquet mallet. It is really Disney. So if you are not a Disney-phile, or if you don't like Disney at all, don't go see this movie. Plus, I don't really know why you would want to go see this movie if you weren't a Disney person. But hey, let's get to the plot. This movie starts out just outside of Orlando at Cape Canaveral. We meet our little heroine, who is Casey. Now, Casey's dad is a former employee of NASA who has been laid off. We've introduced Casey in a kind of an interesting way. Now, Casey, she's a perky little girl. Her dad is being laid off once the deconstruction of the launch pads is completed. So she's kind of having twofold. She doesn't want the NASA program to end, but she also doesn't want her dad to be left without a job, which many of our NASA scientists were left with. And he's an engineer, and once that pad goes down, he no longer has a job. But we are introduced to Casey in a very positive way. We immediately understand that she's an optimist. Casey always looks for the silver lining in everything. She makes a very stark contrast to George Clooney's character, Frank Walker, who we're introduced to in a little bit later. But back to Casey. Casey gets arrested for doing a little bit of vandalism on the NASA deconstruction property. Yeah, but hey, our plot has to continue. Upon being released from jail, I'm assuming it's the county jail, she discovers a little pin with a T on it. Now, this little pin transports her to Tomorrowland, where she gets to see what tomorrow is going to look like. She has no clue about how she got this pin, but she now has it. So, what does she do? She wants to try to figure out a little bit about, hey, what is this, and why do all of a sudden am I transported? This walks in our new character of Athena. Athena is wow, she's a little kick butt. Yes, I liked her a lot. She's cool. So Athena is kind of our guide through the entire story. She also is the key to introducing Frank Walker. Now, Frank's story dates all the way back to the World's Fair, which, here's a little Disney interesting little Easter egg. There's a lot of them in there, so definitely keep your eye out and do your research about Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom. So the first Easter egg is the introduction of there's a big, bright, beautiful tomorrow. I want to make sure, it's a long name to that song. It's a big, bright, beautiful tomorrow theme song from the Carousel of Progress, which is from the Magic Kingdom. That is how we're introduced to the Disney. Like, there's a lot of Disney. Like I said, it's beating you over the head with the Disney philosophy with this movie. So we meet Frank at the World's Fair, and he's showing that, hey, I created a jetpack. It kind of works. Well, Athena definitely sees something of interest into us. Oh, did you see that Athena was in the past and is in the future? What? How can that be? And she doesn't look any different. What could she possibly be? So Athena actually brings Frank into Tomorrowland, and his storyline kind of weaves through. Back to Casey. So Casey tracks down the identity of the pin, and that leads her to Frank. Frank has been exiled from Tomorrowland. We find out later why. Frank kind of invented something. He's an inventor. Way to go, Frank. But they get chased by some animatronics. Yes, auto animatronics. Disney's auto animatronic. Now, I've always waited for those stupid robots to like take over. It was only a matter of time, and this movie proves that those animatronics are going to someday take over. They are just Terminators in waiting. They're the Fisher-Price version of the Terminator. I'm telling you now, they are going to take over. But hey, back to the story. So we follow Casey and Frank and Athena, who is hooked up with them at this point, to Tomorrowland through a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of very cool special effects to this movie. But let's get over to I don't want to spoil it for you. You need to go see this film, but here's the basic thing to this movie. It is Optimus versus Pessimist. Frank's the pessimist, Casey's the optimist. That's the overarching theme through this. And through positivity, we are going to, as a society, go to a happy Tomorrowland. That's the whole entire theme. That's the Disney message that they are pounding into you repeatedly over your head, that you need to be an optimist and you have to think positive or the world's going to really be a crappy place. That's what this theme of this movie is. I think it's a great theme. It's very, very Disney. It has wonderful special effects. And I thought it was interesting that at the end of it, children will lead us into a positive, happy future. You'll find out how. But hey, overall, I think this is a good movie. Is it a great movie? No. It's not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's one of these very lighthearted movies to go see on a very hot Saturday like I did when you need air conditioning. Or when you're just looking for a no-brainer movie that you can follow the plot or you can clean the house. Don't go out and rush out to this first thing. Now, this movie is really good. I'd have to say that. But it's not a spectacular movie. It's not going to be a blockbuster, although it's doing pretty well. But, you know, hey, all Disney movies do pretty well, and it's a kid movie. So overall, in my entire review system, I always go out of 5 paws. What am I going to rate this? I'm rating this a 3. This is a 3 paw. Sorry about my little bum paw. So it's 3 paws. Simply to the fact, the story is not that in-depth. It is definitely made for kids. The Disney philosophy, maybe it's just my chip inside my head that just kept misfiring, that I was like, okay, really? Do we have to keep pounding this into us over and over and over? And the whole scene in her classroom and everything, it's just that kind of knocked it down for me. We didn't have to be pounding it into us repeatedly. So overall, 3 paws. Not bad. It's a good movie, not a great movie. So go out, check it out. Definitely see it on a matinee. So until tomorrow, or Tomorrowland, bye, Cumblets!
I could go out in the darkness, see you calling my name. I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go, let me go.